Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matthew with Watty's channel. This is going to be the second episode of round two for the WWF Hasbro tournament. So, in the last episode, we kind of scattered some names around and picked some names by random, and that way we found out who was going to be squaring off against who. So, we did 5 matchups, and we're going to do the same thing in this video. We're going to select some names at random and have another 5 matchups. So, let's dive right in. So, I got some names here on the floor, and the first matchup is going to be Skinner doing battle against the Raider Nation Jim Duggan. So, that's going to be a Series 2 repaint that's going to look like a Series 9 figure. This one is going to feature a Series 8 Yokozuna, one of my favorites, going against a Series 3 Brutus. Really, guys? Luck of the draw, man. Alright, next one. Jerry Sags will be squaring off against Luke of the Bushwhackers from Series 2. Next matchup is going to feature the Hogan Mailaway the Hogan Mailaway from Robert Jackson is going to square off against Series 8 Bret Hart. Can we have a do-over? Shoot. Somebody's going to kill me because a lot of people on either end is going to be really mad. Alright. Alright, so we got 4. So last matchup is going to feature Samu. Alright, Samu is going to square off against Series 3 Ultimate Warrior. Alright. Alright, guys, I am going to pause right here and pick those figures. Alright, so figures have been pulled and we are ready to conduct our matchups. So, the first matchup is going to consist of Jim Duggan, a custom Series 2 version, which comes from the Raider Nation. And this one was, I guess they were intending it to look like a Series 9, but obviously not completely. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with the figure. For starters, Series 9 had blonde hair. The flag should have been on the backside. I mean, there's a hole in the left hand where he would hold the flag. So, I mean, there's a lot of things different about this figure than you would obviously find in an original Series 9 version. But, I mean, it was a custom figure. It's a beauty. And I'm glad to have it. I mean, it wasn't exactly, it's not like it cost me a fortune or anything. I think I only paid like $30. So, I mean, I'm super glad to have it. It's a fantastic piece. And from the Raider Nation, I mean, you've seen all of the amazing LJN customs I've got. I mean, they've got some of the most amazing customs. Kenny Lester, I haven't been able to buy anything from them in I don't know how many months. But I think the summertime is when Justin told me that they're expecting to get more customs in, or when Kenny's probably gonna be making more customs. So I'm crazy excited about that when that happens. He is squaring off against a custom Skinner figure. So Steve Kearns is actually, maybe not one of the most beloved characters, Skinner of the WWF, but I got it. Can nobody deny that this is an absolutely amazing action figure? Aesthetically, everything from the hat, the goatee, with the whole, knife to the design of the jacket, the pants. I mean, this is just a beautiful looking figure. It's a very playable figure. arm positioning of the hands, it's I don't know. I guess the close what kind of reminds me of is either Giant Gonzalez or maybe Ultimate Warrior. So he's like right in line with those guys. So it's again to me, I would argue it's an elite figure. Now I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would disagree, but we all have our preferences, our own opinions, and I absolutely love the figure. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's in my opinion, it's a $40 figure. An absolute beauty, one of the best that Hasbro has come out with. And oddly enough, I think that some of the figures, and I think, when I look at, like, when I look over in front of me, I'm staring at the LJN shelf right now with my loose figures. A lot of the action figures that, for like the non-superstars, like your SD Jones and, like Coco Beware, because Coco Beware, like, who's Coco Beware? Come on. Coco Beware is not a major superstar. He's not like your Bret Hart or someone. Come on. But they have some really amazing action figures. Outback Jack, not exactly a mega superstar, right? But he's got an incredible action figure. Billy Jack Haynes. Nobody cares about Billy Jack Haynes, but he's got one of the most elite action figures. Nobody cared about Skinner, but he's got one of the top 15 action figures of the entire Hasbro line. Absolutely fantastic. When it comes down to the Hacksaw figure, I've mentioned it before. I've always said that the Hasbro Series 2 Hacksaw is one of the top 10 worst action figures. Not because it's a bad figure. I've always said Hacksaw Series 2 is, if you're a kid and you're looking for like a one-on-one matchup or whatever, and you want something that's durable, that's sturdy, the Series 2 Hacksaw Jim Duggan should be one of your go-to action figures. As far as play, it is the perfect figure to go for play. For me, it's just the simplicity of the figure as a all blue figure with blue trunks, blue knee pads, etc. The simplicity of the figure is what did it for me. That made it so plain, I just couldn't really get an enjoyment out of it. Whereas you got it's a very decorative figure that gives you a lot more. But the custom, they didn't really go overboard. A few upgrades here. The shirt, and it's not like major expert flag or anything like that. But I mean, to me, it's enough. I mean, I'm not an expert or I'm not an artist or anything like that. So when I see something like that, I'm impressed. I'm happy with it. I think with the American colors that they did a really good job, and I like it a lot. So with that extra coloring, I think that this puts it over the top and actually makes it a supreme figure. Does it necessarily make it an elite figure? That is the question. In this case, I'm going to say not quite yet, and I am going to select Skinner to move on to round 3. I still feel like Skinner has a lot more to offer. I still feel like Skinner gives you a much better chance to move a lot further in this competition. So I still feel like this figure could have made it not just into round 3, but I think he could have gone into round 4 and 5. But I think this could have been I think this could be a potential 6th rounder. Let's see, 6 rounds. If it ends up like the LJN's, 6 rounds makes it semifinals, so last 4. Maybe not the semifinals. Well, depending on the luck of the draw, maybe. That's actually a possibility. But, you know what? Yeah, like I said, based on the way that I'm setting it up now, yeah, he could be a semifinalist. So, I am going to make Skinner defeats Raider Nation Duggan. All right. Next matchup. And there's two matchups in this video that's really gonna hurt, and this is definitely one of them. Two of in my opinion, two front runners. Maybe not 1-2 or 1-2, 1-2, whatever, but two elite figures that definitely have an opportunity to win this whole entire competition, and one of them is going to knock off the other. And you pit the Series 8 Yokozuna against the Series 3 Brutus the Barber Beefcake. And I said it before, the Yokozuna from Hasbro, figures like Jax and I don't know, I think Mattel, they make him really bulky and whatnot, heavyweight, but no other line, they don't really give him like the hugeness. I'm trying to find the right, without actually criticizing his weight, the girth that Hasbro does. So they really give him the right size. Hasbro, I mean, if you want the perfect figure, Hasbro's Yokozuna, for something that didn't have 3D printing back in the day, they have about the most perfect action figure for a man of this size. Here's a perfect example. I'm going to reach right over here. I don't know who made this. I'm going to assume it's Mattel, because it seems like Mattel makes... Yep, Mattel. Here's a Mattel figure. Look at that. That does not look like a 500 or 600 pound man. I mean, he looks like he's about 350, maybe 400 pounds at most. He does not look like, his rump is way out there. His stomach doesn't look all that wide. Look at the picture of the front. I mean, he does not look... I mean, he looks like a big, hefty guy, of course, but he doesn't look like he's... He should be a whole lot more round than what he is. And he looks like a butterball, and that's exactly how Hasbro made him, and it's perfect. The difficulty that the Yokozuna figure faces is that the Series 3 Brutus Beefcake is about as perfect a figure as you're going to find. So the only downside from Series 3 is that they recaptured the Series 1 Brutus Beefcake from Series 1. They took off the head from Series 1, put it on the Series 3 body. So they kept that same look there. That sucks. But the Series 3, everything else, they got rid of the fused legs. They opened it up, gave it this fantastic separated feet, a great look with the zebra legs, awesome hand positioning, upgraded the shears, got rid of the orange and switched it out with, the black. Just a great overall look. A beautiful figure. The last video, guys, was 35 minutes long. I don't want to do that to you again, so I'm going to try my best to kind of move faster through these videos so I can try and keep it down to about 25, 27 minutes, 29 minutes. Actually, I'm trying to keep it 25, but... What do you guys think? I have to. I said it. Yokozuna, They broke the mold, literally broke the mold when they created this. The only figure of his kind from the whole Hasbro line, and there's a reason for it. You could only have one Yokozuna. They could not create another figure, create him from any other figure. They couldn't create him from Bam Bam or from Typhoon or Earthquake. They had to give him his own physique, and he's a perfect figure. Fighting pose, girth wise, he's like a King Kong Pundy from LJN. He's a beast of a figure, and he's absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely love the Yokozuna from Series 8. So, Series 8 Yokozuna defeats Brutus. Series 3. Now, this one, I wish all of these could be this easy. I mean, this is like a 5-second. This is like a. It's literally that easy because we know. Come on, there's not even a question. We don't even need to talk about this one. Jerry Sags is one of the greatest action figures that Hasbro created. Not in my top 10, but still a perfect figure. One of the greatest tag teams, one of the most valuable tag teams from the Nasty Boys. Luke, I absolutely love the look of the Series 2 Bushwhackers and Luke from Series 2, and then they took this body and gave it to Butch in Series 10 with the Desert Storm version Bushwhackers. But, I mean, with these figures, they do not stand up on their own, worth the darn, so that, to me, takes away the value. This right here, I mean, when you're sitting there and you're doing this with it, it's a lot of fun, but, I mean, you can't play this. I mean, if you're a kid and, I mean, you gotta hold them arms like this, and you can't wrestle this. I'm like, come on. I mean, I'm just kind of holding the arms like this right now, and I could only imagine trying to sit there and trying to wrestle this. You can't body slam. I mean, you're basically just punching. You can't like do kicks or nothing because you're trying to sit there and kick them when you gotta hold these hands up. It's just so frustrating. I'm like, nah, it looks great. Love the colors of the camel pants. But it has nothing else going for it. And whereas the Nasty Boys, in particular Jerry Sags figure, is an elite figure. This is literally a 2-second conversation. Jerry Sags all day, every day. Come on. I really wish that, all of these could be that easy, but no, you're not going to be so lucky. So, Jerry Sags defeats Luke from Series 2. Alright. The one that's going to break my heart is going to feature the Hulk Hogan mail-away going to battle against Series 8 Bret Hart. And what's most heartbreaking about this, these two could legitimately be your last two figures standing in the entire tournament. They basically have the exact same pose, the exact same stance. So, the head mold a little bit different. So, looking at this, I actually really like the Hulk Hogan head mold a whole lot better. Bret Hart, they give you like that funky, snarl kind of look. Body slam wise, perfect. Again, on both figures. Actually, looks like Hogan's right arm's in a little bit more, so Bret Hart gets a little bit better. This is actually one of my duplicates. I had to take off one of the little plastic things right here. Here's the thing that always gets me about this figure. That always kind of that I always gravitate towards, and what always situates that always gets him to why he always gets me to gravitate towards him is the design of the pants. That right there in that general vicinity, up until you get to this area in the back, the design of the pants are so remarkable that it's really almost an impossibility for me to choose any other figure over this one. No matter how much I gravitate or love any other figure, if this was an original and we were looking at value sake, we're talking about $100 to a $200 figure to $1,000 figure. So based on that alone, toss this one out. But these are two absolutely remarkable pieces. Robert Jackson did a phenomenal job. Absolutely amazing. You could never tell the difference. It is literally that good. And to only have two opportunities to talk about this figure, I don't want it to end. So I might have to push this one forward. And at least I could say Series 4 Bret Hart is still in competition. Series 8 Bret Hart is moving on to round 3. This was a heartbreaker. This was super tough. I didn't want to lose either figure. This is truly an elite figure. I've been wanting to talk about this one for such a long time. And finally getting the opportunity to talk about this one in my custom video, the last video for round 1, was such an excitement, so exciting for me. But getting the opportunity to at least have him in 2 different videos was at least something. Hulk Hogan Mail Away, an incredible piece. Absolutely love it. And like I said, guys, the last video ran almost about 35 minutes. Right now we're about 22 minutes, so I didn't want to do that to you guys again. Have another 35-minute video. I didn't even pay attention to the time. I didn't realize how long that video had run. So this video is going to feature Series 3 Ultimate Warrior going against Series 10 Samu from the Head Shrinkers. I never had Series 3 anything, so I never knew about this Series 3 Ultimate Warrior until I started collecting Hasbros back in 2021, and I had the first 2 series of Ultimate Warrior as a kid. Obviously Series 1 we had a lot of use out of, and then when Series 2 came out, we got Series 2, and that became our new Ultimate Warrior for play as kids. And for the longest time, that was my favorite Ultimate Warrior figure until, obviously, this one kind of shredded it. This figure is basically perfect in every way imaginable. Great face, paint, facial expression, hair, design of the legs, boots, trunks, body type, the arm positioning, fighting pose. I mean, everything you could ask for, this figure has it. If this isn't your number 1 all-time favorite Hasbro figure, he's got to be number 2, 3. He can't be out of your top 5. And in fact, if he's out of your top 3, there's something wrong, because again, you don't get more perfect than this Ultimate Warrior figure. He's going against a Samu figure, which is, again, another absolutely remarkable tag team figure from Hasbro. What I love about the Head Shrinkers, now, I said it in the last time I talked about these guys, Samu and Fatu, they both have the fused legs, which sucks, but the difference between them or smaller figures like the Rockers are constantly tipping over, even though The head shrinkers are top heavy. They seem to stand just fine, and that is really remarkable. Great looking figure. I love the way that the arms are extended just enough. It has an awesome fighting pose. You could do a lot of damage with this figure. Have a lot of fun with this. Again, another figure you could do everything that you want to. I mean, it's not a question of, who do you think is going to win, but it's not as simple as Warrior's going to sweep the floor with Samu, because then you're just basically taking away a lot from this figure, because this is a really amazing figure. Head shrinkers in general. High value tag team from Hasbro. On a low end, $40. On a high end, $80, maybe $100, depending on who you buy from. Truly great pieces. I absolutely love them. And sad to see him go, but he just went into an absolute beast of a character who I feel like is just going to tear through this tournament, at least until the end. Alright, so that puts another 5 matchups in the books. And I didn't write down my last 2 winners. So that was Bret Hart, Series 8, defeats Mail Away Hogan, and Warrior, Series 3, defeats Samu. Alright. Awesome. Well, that's 3 videos tonight. I think that should be enough. And hopefully some more LJN figures that I ordered come in the next few days. And once that happens, I will be able to go into Series 3 of the LJN review. And I'll have these videos posted. I'll do the LJN review, get those posted, and then I'll go back into some more of these videos. Well, thank you for watching, everybody, and I will talk to you in the comments. Alright, goodbye, everyone.